What's going on, guys? Welcome back to DSG, and today we're going to be talking about our 11-month account review. Very close to 12 months, our first full year in the game, which is crazy that we've gone full circle. We stuck around this long in a mobile game. I think that's my first major mobile game, so I'm pretty happy about that we're pretty much going to make it to the 1 year without hiccups or anything like that. So anyways, let's go through our progress from last month to this month and overall 11 months where your account can be. Let's look at our predictions that we had for April of 2021. Ryan Last Dragon characters come to the game. They did. My guess was they were going to be a tower event. They weren't. They were a leaderboard event, which is new for us. And also they were, well, we did have a tower event, which was unsuspectedly the Hunchback characters, Hunchback team. And they're actually pretty good from what I've seen. So kind of cool. Kingdom's getting more characters to use, and we have a good solid tank that's not a legendary that's pretty accessible as well now. So Quasimodo could actually be a pretty good character for early game players looking for the future and for newer players, but that has to be seen as well. Possibly this is going to be a sole character release. It almost was. Like, I didn't think they were going to release, you know, the Hunchback characters that just came out of nowhere. But that's Glue. And they always seem to just throw random things at us. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. Possibly new raid, Gear 9. Aha! We heard about the new raid. So of course they didn't bring it to the game, but we did get news about it. There's a new raid and a new PvP mode, so looking forward to that. Number 3 here, we have faction refreshes. My guess was they're going to be old Downtown Villain or Kingdom. This didn't happen, and it looks like they kind of calmed down with refreshing old kits. Might be a new project in the future, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on to our goals for April and how they panned out. So Grand Campaign farming, we did get Maximus to 5 stars. We got Monterey Jack. Scrooge has been a really tough one for me. His drop rates have been so bad, and him being 14 energy per attempt, a little more pricey to do, so to get as many attempts in. And then we're going to move on to Sheriff, and Sheriff is going to be a 12 energy farm. So looking forward to see how that all pans out, and hopefully that's better because we're a little bit derailed in terms of the Grand Campaign farming. Lead Battle farming, Pegasus, then Barley, Dash, Woody, Chunk. These guys, we got Moana done too, so Moana is done as well. Once you got put over, just say, I got a little boost from a PvP bug, but I only got like 20 tokens from that, so that's okay. But we're done with Moana. She's all set, so pretty happy about that. Number 3, but it says 4 here on accident, my bad, guys. We have tournament farms going from Jangles, Anger to Horn King. I did put Horn King in front of Anger. I actually started farming Horn King first, and Horn King's almost done. We're gonna move to Anger after that, and someone else after that. Moving on to Summer Score, we did hit 275. It went from 260 to 279. I didn't do as much fluffing per se. My fluff score actually went down from like 20 something to 15 or 16.66, which is a lot better. Still waiting for an update for EVEBot so I can make a fluff score video. But yeah, we were able to bump it up. We did get a good amount of gear tier 8 characters, which I was super happy about. Club Conquest teams, 3 4K teams. We actually have 4 4K teams and above now, and that's thanks to just gearing up characters really, and starting to make my roster not look so fake. In all honesty, it's actually getting some muscle to it, so I'm really happy about that. We have Ursula now, gear tier 8, and Donald Duck, gear tier 8, and Stitch is 1 piece away from gear tier 7, and he's already got about 3 or 4 pieces set for him for gear tier 8, so he's not too far off. And then next is going to be Barley, and Barley already has some pieces ready for gear tier 6. Just got to fully push him over, and then we'll get him to gear tier 7, etc. Now let's move on to our farming plan. So a little bit different. It got fluffed up again, or more characters got added. We have Hunchback and we have Esmeralda, and this is gonna get messed up again once the new legendary team comes around. So some of his characters, I never know if I'm ever gonna catch up to them, to be honest, just because that's just characters keep getting added on and stuff. But looking here, we're gonna get to Sheriff, and we're gonna get the Princesses done. That's my goal. Because Mulan is a little bit farther ahead along the lines of farming, she might be the quickest one. My goal is to hopefully get her done in about 5 to 7 days. Then we can move on from her to Merida, and once Merida's done, she has a couple tokens as well. Move on to Pocahontas, and Pocahontas is nothing really. Think like just maybe 20 or 30 tokens. So this one's probably gonna get stretched. You know, I don't think I'll be able to finish Pocahontas. I'm just gonna leave her in there. She probably can get started, but definitely not finish. And actually have to move Robin Hood to the next month, to June, and then even at that point, probably Robin Hood will get done. Shere Khan and Esmeralda, those guys obviously are completely new and fresh, so they're going to take a lot of my bandwidth of usage, so we're going to have to watch out for that. Quasimodo as well, so these guys, Quasimodo might even get pushed off to July just because how much time it takes, about 21 days to get a character from 0 to 7 stars, so just got to keep that in mind. But these Incredibles teams here and these Toy Story teams here, they actually have a lot of character tokens on my end. So just because they're in that order, I might just try and finish off like Bob or Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl. Probably gonna get those two done because they're going to be the ones who are done first because they are already at 5 stars. So I might bump them up first and then finish off Jack and Violet after that. But finish off Calhoun first. She's kind of fun to use actually at Gear Tier 8. So she's someone I would like to take Gear Tier 8. And of course, if Wreck-It Ralph comes around, we're probably going to need Gear Tier 8 characters because the events are actually requiring Gear Tier 8 characters now, which, shocker, not to anyone, hopefully, that they're starting to do that. But you can see here, we did move more Downtown Villains characters forward just for Scrooge Moneyman Heist. I might push them probably in front of Nightmare because at least with the Toy Story characters here and Incredibles are a part of the event, so it's something. But nothing too crazy there. As you can see, Maximus and Flynn Rider, actually they're probably a better choice to move forward for the Rapunzel Tower, but not necessary at this point. That's going to be our Grand Campaign farming and my thoughts on what Grand Campaign farming is going to be for me in the near future. Let's move on to Elite Battles. Not much here. Once Dash is done, and Chunk and Woody, we're going to have Simba, and Simba only needs 25 character tokens. Guys, this slide right here could be extinct next account review just because, and if it's just for the sake of the new legendary characters, I'm probably not going to do it. It's going to say like, yeah, I'm farming for Elite Battles, obviously those characters, that team, so we're going to keep that in mind. And moving on to now we're going to move on to our Gear 8 farming plan for May. So we have Stitch, Barley, Pain and Panic, and Belle, and if you can kind of see, I'm trying to alternate or just try and change it up in terms of the factions, because you see I have Oceanics, then I have Downtown Hero, then I have Mythicals, then Kingdom, just because when you're going through heroic raids and you're kind of farming and stuff, you want to have a little buffer in between because these pieces are a pain in the butt to farm and you never have enough raid tokens. So that's why I've kind of spaced these guys out in terms of how I'm farming with them and getting them to Gear Tier 8, because as you can see, I'm farming a Kingdom character for a while, so I do have a decent amount of those cheap faction pieces. But for the other characters, I farmed Hercules recently, so he took a lot of my materials. Downtown Heroes always being farmed because there's so many Downtown Heroes in this game. And Oceanics, I just finished off Ursula, so she took some of my materials, but I've been focusing on Oceanics, so they've been getting buffed up there. But that's kind of my advice to you guys for Gear Tier 8 farming, is to kind of spread it out. Don't go, only if you want to, you can go Oceanic, for instance, but I prefer alternating. That's why, for instance, I'm going to like these subcategories, such as princesses. So as you can see, Belle's going to be my first princess, so I'm probably going to put Merida or Pocahontas, a Wilds character. Then after that, probably going to put, I could possibly put Moana, because she's a princess, but she's Oceanic, and there'll be a big gap between Oceanics and them. Then you can probably put back another kingdom, such as Rapunzel, which is going to be the lead. Then go back to either Pocahontas or Merida for that wild spot, and then alternate again for Mulan for that kingdom spot. My goal is just to keep them as separated as possible so that resources don't get spread too thin and that it's not such a pain in the butt, and so you get some natural accumulation as well. So that's going to be our Gear 8 farming plan. Now let's move on to our predictions for May 2021. So my predictions is that we're going to get the new legendary. My guess is Inside Out, just because of what they said personality alert or something like that in the patch notes. So my guess, Inside Out, could be. Sounds about right. So if that's the case, you know what that means. Boom! Bing bong. If you guys haven't been on the stream lately or in the Discord, we got a new sub badge, which is Bing Bong. And actually got a couple more sub badges. I overhauled all my sub badges on Twitch. Got a really cool artist on Fiverr, and they did all of these sub badges. But I'm not going to show you on here, just Bing Bong, and you guys can check it out if you head over to the Twitch stream and become a sub. Now, moving on, number 2 here, we got new raid and PvP mode updates. Actually, I'm guessing one of these is going to drop. More likely for me, the PvP mode than the raid. That's just a guess, but I have a good feeling that PvP mode is going to drop. Hopefully in May, because let's be honest, the climate in DSA, we just had someone leave our club just because I've lost interest, and that's not uncommon at this point. People are starting to lose interest in this game because Glue isn't releasing stuff. So Glue, get your act together. We haven't had solid content since November. We need this PvP mode and we need this new raid sooner rather than later, but not at the same time. Come on guys, use your brain. Do one and then do the other one 2 months after. I think that would be a good start here. And lastly here, probably gonna be new characters introduced via leaderboards. I don't think we're gonna get another tower for a couple of months. It looks like what we got one. It looks like it's gonna be like a quarterly thing, right? So looking 3 months from now in April, probably late July, around there is when we're gonna get the next tower. So who knows what it'll be, but it looks like with this, they're getting more consistent with rotating these events, and I predicted this and I talked about this before in my videos, that once the new legendary comes out, which is Hercules, they're gonna be more consistent with these legendary events, and that looks like it's gonna be true, because if the new legendary is Inside Out, that's gonna give them 6, and that's gonna help them really get to that 60-day difference or more, because it's Sensational 6 Part 1 and 2 gives them a little bit extra time. So you're definitely looking at around 60 to 65, 70 days in between these legendary events, and they're going to start going in a consistent fashion. So looking forward to that. Now, our last slide here is going to be our goals. So our goals for May of 2021, we're going to go to the Sheriff and then the Princesses or Grand Campaign farming for elite battles. We're probably, guys, going to finish off Dash, Woody, Chunk, and Simba. All these guys are 7 stars almost. Like, I think Chunk is like 1 or 2 away from 6 stars. Woody is like in the last 90 character tokens. Dash has only like 40 left, and Simba has 24. These guys have fewer than 100 character tokens. Hopefully, with good luck and drops, we'll be able to get them to gear or 7 stars. We'll be all set. And now next, number 3, Turning Farms, Horn King, then Anger. So Horn King's almost done, like I said. Anger, I don't think we're going to be able to finish in this month. I could be wrong. If not, probably going to move to like Mordew. I have no clue. Kronk or Tinkerbell. That's all I have left after Anger is Kronk, Tinkerbell, and Horn King. So please don't change the turning exchange yet. I need to finish these guys off. And lastly here, last 2 over here. Summoner score, 300k. I'm pretty sure there's going to be new legendary this month, so we're going to feel some pumping, if you know what I mean, in the summoner score numbers overall. So be prepared, I guess. And lastly here, gear tier 8, Stitch, Barley, PNP, and Bell. Same as what we had earlier, but just to restate that there. Now, what am I also looking forward to? Guys, you guys better start hoarding. You guys better start hoarding those materials. And what materials am I talking about? I'm talking about essences. I'm talking about those essences. You guys better start hoarding. I would only upgrade necessary characters, newer characters that will be usable later. Characters, for instance, like a Kristoff, a Captain Hook. You know, don't gear tier 8 those guys. That's a given. They're old, their kits are old, they're not going to be very usable. Even like an Elsa, I don't recommend gear tier 8ing at this point. I would more focus on looking at newer characters, such as if you're going to be getting your Hercules for the first time, whether it's 5 stars, 6 stars, 7 stars, that's a character you want to gear tier 8. You know, a Pain and Panic is a character you're going to try and gear tier 8. Those characters, even like, you know, the newer tower characters, are going to be someone you want to go for as well. You don't want to go too much for the old characters because they have a power creep in them and you're going to have to watch out. You don't want to waste it. So looking towards gear tier 9, have those essences prepared. If you thought you're flying by with, I don't know, fire, heart essences, etc., the really common ones that you're going to be using, trust me guys, like how it takes 35 for essences to get to gear tier 8, and just like how droplets take 35 to get to the next gear tier, to gear tier 6, trust me when I say to go from gear tier 8 to 9, just like 6 to 7 is going to take 70 essences just like it takes 70 droplets. So be prepared, guys. Anyways, it's going to end it for this video, and hopefully it was helpful, give you guys some good insight, give you guys some good tips of how your account can shape up. So anyways guys, thank you so much. Go down links down below. Help us get to 300 subscribers as well. That'd be a big help. Anyways guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.